taking damage or something, you're...
All right, yeah, now that I wanted to get that turbo start out of the way before I got official about it. So,
oh, gosh.
And hopefully I didn't screw up some little option with recording that I wasn't paying attention, because that would piss me off. But anyway, so
yeah. Hi.
I guess I could... Part of me is like, welcome to Nintagious combo, and then the other part's like, welcome to Nintagious experiment, because this is definitely an experiment.
Yeah.
I've been holding off on doing these discussions because I've been trying to think of an interesting way to do them without just putting a endless stream of relevant footage up. And you know what? This is the freaking internet. If you want to find footage about what we're talking about, I'm sure you can find it.
If you've probably not seen it by now, even.
Yeah, if you haven't seen it, you know where to look. You're already on YouTube. Step one has been taken.
If you haven't seen it by now, go check out his other video.
Yeah, there you go.
He covered it.
Well, except for a few things that weren't shown in the digital event. But yes, if you missed the digital event, you can check that out first, and then you can check this one out. There was something else I was going to say too, but I don't remember what it was.
In the description.
My whole idea here was that instead of trying to edit together a bunch of footage, we're just going to continue playing Mario Kart as we have been while we do some E3 discussion.
Yeah.
Really, Bullet Bill? Really? All right. So
my reactions are different than what you expected, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. I did the live reaction with my friend Bill, which was a decision that was pretty simple for me to make.
Yeah.
And I talked to you a few times about how, like, we both thought, since you're not the biggest console player, like, you're more of a PC player.
Way more PC.
But that you probably wouldn't be too excited for a live reaction, so it would work if I couldn't find anyone else, but I am doing terrible as Shy Guy here. But anyway, the digital event came and went, and you actually wound up pretty excited about some of those titles. So
quite a bit of them, actually.
I guess
only a few that are meh, you know?
Yeah.
Nothing outright, but there's nothing that's outright, oh, that's just pure trash, you know?
Yeah. But I guess we can start with that, with just which of the titles left an impression on you and that you're looking forward to.
There's actually a lot of them.
I did make that list last night of all the titles so we wouldn't get lost and we wouldn't forget anything, but I didn't save the list. So
at least from my point of view, the
memory.
Because I also watch Treehouse events as well. So
right. And there was a lot of great coverage there. I think they set a new standard for E3 there.
I'd say the biggest impacts on me were Splatoon. Not in any particular order, but definitely Splatoon. Certainly Bayonetta and Bayonetta 2, because Bayonetta now included. And third one for top. Probably that new Zelda. I mean, that's actually even weird for me because I'm not the hugest.
Oh, the new one, not Hyrule Warriors.
Not Hyrule Warriors. No.
Yeah, you're not quite as interested in that one.
I'm not a big Dynasty Warrior.
Yeah, I've talked with quite a few people about how I think Splatoon was kind of the star of the show. I think that kind of stole the show. No one really saw it coming, and I think a lot of people, when they saw the reveal, they were like, what the hell is this? And it quickly turned into, holy crap, I want this game. Like, that looks like it has a lot of promise.
It really does, yeah.
And as I've said, only Nintendo could bring a freaking shooter to E3 and actually get praise for it. While like every Microsoft and Sony commentary you saw was enough with the damn shooters.
Right.
But they managed to.
I saw a great recap of the three. Basically the two conferences of theirs and Nintendo's, like, all together, and it's just taking away, you know, your own feelings of what consoles that you actually own or what your own feelings about them are. What kind of world would you rather live in with these games? And it was like the list for Xbox, and PlayStation were just like guns, cars, another form of guns, another form of guns,
right.
more cars.
I did not even watch. I did not even watch Microsoft's. I did watch some of Sony's, and like some of it looked pretty good. I can understand.
Yeah.
If you're a PS4 owner, I do think you have some things to be excited for if you already own the console.
You already own it, yeah.
To me, there wasn't anything that made me say, "Oh wow, well I need to get a PS4." Like that just didn't happen. And I've said it before. I want a PS4.
Yeah.
There's just nothing there, and I continue doing absolutely terrible with Shy Guy here. Yeah. Yes, Splatoon, I think they managed to approach the genre in a way that was very Nintendo, and...
Yeah, definitely. The thing is that we just needed... It needed its own spin on it, and it worked,
yeah,
I think. And the main part about it is that it's like, okay, it's another shooter, but it's not a COD, it's not a BF, it's not a,
Right.
It's not these other shooters that it may look simple, and it is.
The big thing for me is that
fun,
it's not deathmatch. It's not about kills.
Yeah,
that's why I prefer shooters like Team Fortress 2, because they have more objectives to them.
Yeah, I mean, kills definitely do help in Splatoon, since from what I've seen of it, if you kill an enemy on their color ink, then they explode. Well, and actually, whenever you kill an enemy, they explode in your color of ink. And so, if you kill them on their color of ink,
I actually did not notice that.
You'll be covering you'll be painting over their ink with your ink.
Right. See, I actually did not notice that one.
If you kill them on your own ink, then you get less points for it.
Ah.
You don't cover as much. You don't cover as much ground.
Right.
Because you already had that area painted. So yeah,
and I think we talked about how like the developers said they want this to be like their Mario Kart of the shooter genre.
Yeah,
they kind of want it to be something that's easy to pick up.
Yeah.
And yeah, I can see where they're going with that, and
yeah, what
and,
Mario Kart
and more
Splatoon do for a shooter.
And
I can see
like
it too.
most important of all, it's a new IP, and people have been saying Nintendo needs new IPs, and here they are. They're bringing them.
There's a few of them. Yeah.
Yeah, along with Codename Steam, which I'm still mixed on. I'll wait to see more about that. I feel like I don't want to talk about that one too much because I haven't formed an opinion on that one just yet.
And at the same time, they're also really excited about not just Bayonetta, but Devil's Third as well. And
they're really throwing their support there.
That's totally outside the realm of typical Nintendo.
Yeah.
Well, it's also got some sort of Nintendo twists in there, but I got messed with the clouds. But okay. Yeah.
And yeah, like I won't touch on Bayonetta too much, mostly because I still have not watched a lot of that coverage.
Yeah, I watched all.
But
I think all the coverage. Yeah.
Like it's worth noting that yes, now when you get Bayonetta 2, you get a free copy of Bayonetta 1, and I think a lot of people were hesitant on. I don't think hesitant's the right word for it, because I think they were outright rejecting the idea of Bayonetta 2 because they had no way of playing the original. And I was one of those. People. I believe you were too.
I was more in the realm of I want to get it anyways, and it kind of would be a shame if I can't.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
See, I had no interest whatsoever.
I was
because
really
I wanted to play the first one first, and I had no way of doing that. So as soon as they revealed that, I was like, okay, I'm in. Like, I'm sold. Yeah. That's all you had to tell me.
Yeah, and then the details that they actually put into with the new costumes.
Yeah, extra Nintendo-themed costumes look fun, too.
For the Wii U port of Bayonetta 1, they put in at least these 3 new costumes that we know about is Link, Samus, and Peach. Mm-hmm. And the world of Bayonetta actually changes a little bit, depending upon the costume that you're wearing. And, like, they've shown off a lot of the Link what happens when you're wearing the Link.
Yeah,
you
I think they showed
Zelda
Link off
sound
the
effects,
most.
and you get the rupees. It's great. That's just kind of like a great touch, you know.
Yeah, it's something they didn't need to do. They didn't need to port the first one at all, but there was certainly demand for it.
Oh yeah, true.
A lot of people were asking about, or were constantly asking them about, "Hey, are you gonna do this? You should." So,
right. And actually, with the costumes, it gives even those people who've played Bayonetta before. I mean, they're saying that they're really feeling like they'll just play it again.
Right, yeah.
Experience it with the costumes and, you know, have that whole, like, somewhat of a new experience, complete, you know? Because of that.
But like I talked to you about how, like, it's still a hack and slash game, so I'm not looking...
It's a spectacle fighter.
Yeah, I'm not looking into it that much. I think I'll just wait and I'll just get it and I'll just enjoy it. I won't.
Right.
I feel like a game like that, if you look too much into it in advance, you're gonna spoil a lot of it for yourself.
Yeah, I haven't looked too much into it. I wanted to play the first one when it first came out, but I didn't have a 360, or I actually might have had a 360 at that time.
I think you said you did, but it was broken.
Down. I don't know about when that came out though. If I did.
Oh.
But yeah, it was to the point where I never got to play that, and I didn't have PlayStation, so I never got to play that, and so it was like, you know, I was interested in it, but I never looked into it too much. So I'm still going in relatively fresh as to the story and everything, which I think is a good thing.
Yeah, I have no idea what the story's about.
Yeah,
and yeah, I'll just wait and find out.
Right.
Then what was the other one? Oh, the new Zelda. I don't have much of an opinion on the new Zelda yet. Like, excited, of course. I thought,
but the engine that they're using at least looks really
yeah,
nice.
it looks really good.
And I like the new style, even though some people don't like that new Link, but I don't know why. I like it, so.
It might be too soon for me to have a verdict on that one.
Yeah, maybe.
I did expect to see much more of it because they've been talking for months and months and months about how they've been ready to reveal it, so I was expecting a big reveal.
Right.
But then I still wonder if they toned it down so that it didn't steal the show from Hyrule Warriors.
Yeah, they did do a good amount of coverage for Hyrule Warriors too.
And yeah, I don't think you're hugely interested in Hyrule Warriors. I think it looks like a blast, so I'm probably going to be picking that one up.
I'm really mixed on it. I mean, that's my problem, is that it's like I can certainly see where it would be fun, but even then at the same time, I mean I do have plans to go and play through some of the old Zeldas, which there's a lot of Zeldas that I've never played.
Right, yeah, I talked to you about that briefly.
So maybe by the time I come out finishing playing those, you know, Hyrule Warriors will be coming out soon after that, and, you know, I don't know, maybe I'll change my mind just due to having picked up a love of the characters.
Right,
you know?
yeah, you might know more of the characters. I mean, we only know of the 4 playable right now.
Yeah. Actually, we just did Cloud Top Cruise, didn't we? I just voted for it without thinking. Yeah, so I mean, Hyrule Warriors.
What else was there?
For me, it's a meh at the moment. I
don't think you didn't watch much coverage of it, right?
No, I haven't really watched coverage of that.
They pretty much had me at that moment where the Great Fairy pulled the moon from Majora's Mask out of the sky to bring one of the bosses down to the ground. As soon as that happened, I was like, "What? All right, give me the game."
That's kind of silly, yeah.
I was like, "That's just so over the top and just awesome and ridiculous," and I love it. And I'm looking forward to having like this ridiculous cast of ridiculously huge cast of characters that are just a ton of fan favorites. That I'm raising hell with this Piranha Plant right now. I don't know if you accidentally got hit by that.
Yeah, you did.
I went nuts with that.
It's a Piranha Plant. I can't blame you.
I know another one you're looking forward to is Captain Toad Treasure Tracker, which I think we keep
Yeah.
forgetting about, actually. But
A little bit. I mean, I mean, maybe you keep forgetting about it. I keep reminding you about it. And
right.
you're continually like, yeah, Captain Toad Treasure Tracker. I mean, it just looks like one of those. It doesn't look like that you'd sit down and actually play through the whole thing at once. You'd probably sit down, play, a couple of levels of it, and you're,
Yeah.
set to go.
I'm like the mini
It's like a more
the mini
sort of
game in
retro.
3D World was they were cute. I didn't hate them or anything.
Right.
I don't know if I
This
would buy a full game on them, but I am glad that they're doing it because
I
a
mean,
lot of
it
people
is-
really liked those games. So
Yeah, but at the same time, I mean, it's not just. From what I'm aware and I guess assuming from what they've talked about with it, is that it's not. I actually wanted to check out the treehouse on it too.
I watched some of the treehouse stuff.
Necessarily, like the exact same as the mini game in the sense that the levels are larger. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, I'm sure they will be. Yeah, those
it's more of a
like
I mean,
there weren't many in 3D Worlds, so there wasn't a lot of
there's
room
only,
to like
four.
give depth to it, I guess.
Yeah,
And yeah, I'm sure it'll be a lot bigger.
Right. So it's like, I'm
And there's
kinda
gonna be
like that.
bosses and stuff. So
Yeah, and even just from, I mean, this is a standpoint too from that a lot of people, I guess, it's you don't just buy Nintendo games for yourself. You know what I mean?
yeah, I
Like
can
you
see
have
it.
fa- if
It's
you have
definitely got
family,
some.
then
It's definitely got a little family value to it. I
it's
think
definitely got family value to it.
for the people that matters too. Yeah, which I think that
Yeah.
matters to more people than you'd think.
Yeah, it does. So
I think when you think of gamers, you don't think of people who think of their family when it comes to what games they buy. But
Right,
I do
right.
think Nintendo fans are like
Nintendo
that. I
does.
do think they
Nintendo-
do think
yeah.
of that.
Yeah, and that's why I mean, even that's even why Splatoon works as a shooter. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it is a bit more friendly, and even speaking of another game,
I did not want to pick that
which
one. Oh,
speaking
well.
of another game that I forgot that I'm actually, at least
Yeah, I was
it's at least
assuming you're going where I think you're going. I'm
probably it's at least it's at least high on my list is Yoshi's Woolly World.
right.
Yeah,
And
the style looks so great. There's
actually-
no timer. It's all about exploration, and it's optional 2-player co-op too.
right.
So again, that additional family element if you want it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I actually did just read that the developers came out and said that it's not like that. They do want it to be a little bit challenging.
Yeah.
Part of me is like, okay,
some
but this is still Nintendo we're talking about. Even their idea of challenging is often not too terribly strenuous.
That's true. That's true.
With the exception of like retro games can get kind of rough, as in retro studios, not as in
Right. Not
and
classic Nintendo hard.
and Mario games do tend to have these ridiculous challenge levels at the end of them now.
Yeah, they do now.
But
yeah.
aside from that, I mean,
Right.
yeah, I'm gonna keep my eye on Woolly World. It's
yeah.
maybe it'll be the return to form that Yoshi's been deserving.
Right. And
Ugh.
at least the style of it, I mean, it just catches you. I know that when in actually your review, you said, and it's like, it's the exact same for me, it doesn't even feel like you're looking at it, and it doesn't feel like you're looking at a game.
Yeah, you can kind of forget that you're even looking at a video game with stuff like that.
And it's like, yeah, it's kind of like everybody wants one of those woolly Yoshis, you know?
Oh yeah, I'm kind of like waiting for them to start selling them or make
Yeah.
like Club Nintendo reward or something.
Oh gosh, the Club Nintendo reward would sell it so fast.
Oh yeah.
But I'd grab one. No question about that.
Oh, that was terrible. I did my stupid drifting to the wrong side. Crap.
Gosh.
I'm actually amazed that we're keeping as on topic as
I'm
we
not
are.
trying to focus too much on the racing. I mean, I am focusing on the racing, but if something
did it
happens,
again,
then
damn
it's
it.
like, Yeah, see, that's the difference right now, is if something happens, you're reacting to it. I'm trying not to react to it.
I'm only reacting to myself screwing up. Yeah, I'll keep my eye on Yoshi.
Yeah.
I love Yoshi. He's awesome. He's like one of my favorite Nintendo characters, I think, despite the fact that most Yoshi games I'm not that huge of a fan of.
Yeah. Well, here, the best part about Yoshi's Woolly World, there's no Baby Mario.
Yeah.
You know?
It'll probably be a little bit more like Yoshi's Story, really.
Yeah.
Oh, that was almost bad.
I'm destroyed myself there.
Yeah, and one thing worth mentioning is that when they first showed us, which was just Yarn Yoshi at the time, that game looked pretty underwhelming. So I'm very impressed with where the game has come in over a year. Like it has been over a year since we first saw that game. Yeah,
and I can kind of see now why they were kind of keeping it under wraps. Too.
Yeah, and I'm glad they did.
Because it was always like, well, what's happening with Yarn Yoshi?
Yeah, you know? Every single direct that came up, we were like, oh, we're going to see more Yarn Yoshi. But
did it just disappear? Is it?
Yeah.
What happened? Is it vaporware now?
But then,
are we not getting it?
But then they kept throwing references into other games. Yeah. They have like the Yarn tires in this, and there's a Yarn course in Mario Golf.
Yeah.
So we were like, we know it's still there somewhere.
Yeah. And now we know even more about it, and it's just wow.
And and it looks much better than it did at first.
Yeah.
And on the subject of
another co-op game as well that I can't think of at the moment.
They said Star Fox is going to have co-op.
Yeah. I thought there was something.
Which on that note, Star Fox. I'm not going to talk much on that one either because I didn't say much about it. But if Miyamoto stepping away from making the Mario games means that he can make a Star Fox, then Godspeed. Godspeed, man.
Yeah.
It's so overdue.
It's one of those things where I didn't care about Star Fox, but okay, I'd probably try it out. You know what I mean?
Right. I am trying to think of what other co-op game they showed that you might be thinking of, but I'm not having any luck thinking of it myself. It
was like a surprise that it had co-op too.
Bayonetta 2 has co-op. It has online co-op at that.
Yeah.
That was I believe that's what we were surprised at. Hyrule Warriors has it too, but I don't think we were surprised by that because that's been known since day one.
Yeah, is that online or just local?
That is unconfirmed, but I've heard that Dynasty Warriors games typically have online play.
Okay. I have shells and you have bombs, so...
Yeah, I just saw you. I don't know if... Like, I don't even recall really even talking to you about this one, but it's worth bringing up on the note of interesting art styles is... Crap, what the hell's the name? Kirby's Canvas Curse 2. I don't know what the name actually is. Curse. And the Rainbow Curse, is that what it is?
Yep.
That was, like... I wouldn't say that was a star of the show, but that was certainly probably what I was the most surprised by.
Yeah.
I did really enjoy the first game, and I never expected them to make a sequel, because how often do they make sequels of spin-offs?
I think I only slightly even knew about the first game, so it's like...
Probably.
That's something that I might even go back and check out.
It was,
It actually looked interesting.
It was very early era DS.
Yes, yeah.
It was, like, within the first year.
Yeah. And so, it's quite a while since the last game of that.
And yeah, it was quite a little gem of a title, so I'm quite excited that they're making another one.
Right,
and
it looks
the clay style to it looks really cool.
Yeah, Kirby lends really well to just having unique styles.
Yeah, he does.
He worked with the yarn. He's working with the clay. You know, it's just damn.
And
did the gear change pattern?
It can change when you're on them. Yeah, I've seen it happen a few times. I find I've only had 2 good matches during all this.
Yeah.
There are a few titles we're probably not I think the big title we're not even going to touch on is Xenoblade Chronicles X.
Oh, yeah.
Because I think you're going to keep your eye on it to see if it turns into anything that might interest you.
This is another game that's also slightly a problem that there is a sequel of it. This is sort of the same way as Bayonetta 2, but not. Because the original game, original as in Xenoblade Chronicles, was an extremely small run, and it's...
Well, that was the one that, like...
It's just stupid.
That was, like, Project Rainfall or whatever, wasn't it?
I honestly
where,
don't
like,
know.
there was, like, all this huge petitioning to even get it localized, because they didn't want to do it.
Yeah, I think so. Nintendo didn't want to do it, and then it only came through GameStop, I believe. And then GameStop, like, last year, supposedly might have, held off some of the games so that they could then...
Oh, yeah, I remember hearing that.
At a $90 or $100 price.
Yeah, and then they started claiming that, like, it was a reprint, but it really wasn't.
I've heard it's actually back out again this year at GameStop for $45. It's a Wii title.
45 is
$45,
more. It's not the 270 that you see Metroid Prime trilogy for. That's for damn sure.
Yeah, but here's the thing. At the same time, it's a used copy.
Yeah.
$5 and an open copy because it is used, and it's like.
And
if I'm gonna pay $45, I kind of want it new. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
and I mean, I've heard
for a game that's like 3 years old now or something.
I've heard a lot of praise for it.
Yeah, I mean,
my problem, and I've said this multiple times, is I'm just outgrowing RPGs. I don't have it in me anymore.
Me as well.
And so that one's kind of just forgettable to me. Like, I think last night when I was putting together that list of stuff to talk about, I actually completely forgot about that one for a while.
Right.
I feel like there's another, like, relatively big title that I just have no interest on touching. Like, that neither of us have any interest on touching on.
I'm not sure at the moment. I'm trying to... I know you have a list written down.
I did.
I mean, there is Devil's Third, but I did mention Devil's Third at least.
Bomb.
I wouldn't really call it a big title either.
Yeah.
I mean, it is for the people who are actually fans of the Ninja Gaiden series and who actually know who Itagaki is.
Yeah, I'm sure it has its audience.
And
I'm just not that audience.
Yeah, we're just not that audience. Although I did watch the Treehouse coverage of it, and
yeah, I didn't even watch much of that.
As I was telling you, is the multiplayer actually looks like it could be an interesting shooter multiplayer, but because it looks like an older game, it's probably just going to be passed up.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's silly because it's like it looks like it's a decent game, and like I said, the multiplayer looks fine, but it's like people are going to be just like, oh, it's not Battlefield, it's not COD, I don't care.
Yeah.
And it's just like, okay,
Let's Shovel Knight's due out in 2 weeks. They did do a Treehouse presentation on that. I didn't watch it because I'm waiting to just enjoy that when I get it.
Yeah,
because I will be doing a playthrough on that. So
the art didn't clue that away.
Well, right.
Yeah.
Like I actually figured I would be doing the playthrough by now already.
Right. Speaking of which, since the arts obviously are, I'm going to throw out a little tease here, is that since the arts obviously, have to do with series that have been recorded, or that are being recorded, you got a Mario Kart 8, you got a Shovel Knight, what else you got? You got Mega Man X.
Oh, right. Yeah, Mega Man X should be coming as soon as I get off my ass and edit the episodes.
Yeah. Mega Man X, which has me along with it. So if you hate me, sorry.
Yeah.
But I'm rare.
It should, if you've been watching enough of these, you probably know that, Mega Man X is, up there on, one of my top titles of all time. So it is not me playing it, because it is a Nintagious first.
It's first. It was my first time playing it.
And I think it was your first time with any Mario game, or a Mega Man game, really.
Wow. Yeah,
Well, I'm looking at a Mario game. What do you want?
The first time really to get into a Mega Man game.
Right, really take it that far.
Yeah.
So yeah, that should be coming up within, the next month.
Right.
I'm also planning to do Wind Waker, because I got that along with Mario Kart here as the free promo title. I'll see
just
how that playthrough goes. If it doesn't go too well, I'll probably scrap it.
Yeah, I thought you were just wanting to be a little casual with it. So
yeah, I'll see how it goes.
It might be one of those, yeah.
See, now we're kind of getting off topic, but in a weird way.
Well,
the one thing I was there was also Monster Hunter 4 presentation, but I'm kind of mixed on that. Like it looks fun, but I would much rather a Wii U version. I really don't want to get a 3DS version.
I would really prefer a Wii U version. I almost said 3DS. But I mean, here's the thing. I think with that game, we kind of both at this point want to agree that we're getting it together, because we played Monster Hunter 3U together, and it's like,
if we get I have a feeling I won't get. Well, I have two friends I play Monster Hunter with. You're one, and then I don't know what to call the other guy still, because he hasn't been on the show. I'm just gonna stick with the internet's Heatman.
Yeah.
And of course he lives in Japan, so he has a Japanese 3DS, and as many people have probably heard, Monster Hunter 4 again will not allow Japanese and Western players to play together.
Right.
So he's going to have to get another 3DS if he's going to get it. And so that's kind of one of those things where if I agree to get it, I'm going to be asking him to spend a lot of money.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, I think it'd be between, like, if he's putting down the money to get a 3DS and Monster Hunter 4U, then you're probably likely going to get it, and if you're likely going to get it, I'll probably likely get it.
Yeah, I imagine you'll pick it up if I do. The thing is I'm really not looking at picking it up at the moment.
No. It'll probably be it's not a, pre-order or anything.
Yeah. If I have $40 lying around when it comes out, maybe I'll dig in.
Right.
And then the other one that I'm very surprised by, and I just realized this earlier tonight, they did not do a Treehouse presentation of Sonic Boom.
Yeah, that's true.
And I find that incredibly surprising because they're so close. But then it isn't Sega developed. Maybe they couldn't get any of the big red button guys to come in and do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm still keeping my eye on that because I want it to be good.
They were actually lucky enough to have the guy that they did for, I'm not remembering the studio name, for Devil's Third, because Itagaki had to leave.
Yeah.
He had to leave E3, so
I think you were telling me about that last night.
There, so it was just the one guy. It was supposed to be the both of them, I believe. So it was almost they weren't going to have a presentation on Devil's Third.
Yeah.
And that's I mentioned that because that's an outside studio, similar to probably.
But they definitely had like they had some smaller, because they did have a few indie titles on there too. So they did have smaller studios and they did have third-party studios. They did not have a Sonic Boom presentation, which I thought was very, very strange.
Since we're now wandering in the third party, do we want to mention the big bullshit news story that came out of E3 related to Nintendo? Since we're talking third party, do we want to?
I'm not really sure which you're talking about. If you're talking about Smash Brothers, I'm still holding that for last.
No. I said the bullshit.
You could kind of call that bullshit.
What?
I would.
What? Wait,
what story are you talking about?
I didn't call anything about Smash bullshit. No.
I could.
No, okay.
We'll get there, but what bullshit story are you talking about?
I'm talking third party.
Ubisoft?
Party is being a dick. Yeah, I didnn't want to name them. If you don't want to.
I don't care. Whatever. Screw those guys. Yeah, I'm not a fan of Ubisoft, like in any way, any shape or form at this point.
Yeah, holding off.
That. Okay.
Off of a Wii U game for 6 months.
Yeah, they have a Wii U game finished, waiting to release, and they're waiting for the install base to get bigger. They are grade A assholes. Like, how do you do that? Like, what is wrong with you?
Yeah. There's people giving them
people are actually saying, "Oh, that's a good marketing decision." No, don't defend that.
Don't defend it, because you're just the same people who want If they if say for example their new Assassin's Creed game, if they had gone, okay, well, Xbox isn't selling as well as PlayStation right now, so we're going to hold off releasing this on the Xbox until it sells more.
Oh yeah, no one would have had any of that.
On the PlayStation only, you know what I mean? Do you think that you would then be bitching or not?
They would
be bitching.
Yeah.
So, would you be calling that a smart decision, not releasing it on Xbox because it's not had enough sales? No, you wouldn't be.
I mean, I would, but
well,
I know what you're saying. That
it's the same people. It's the same people. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, oh, that's a smart decision because they're the people who want Nintendo to fail, anyways. Who are saying that?
And if they're gonna do it, that's fine. I think telling people about it was the bad idea.
That was the problem. It was the publicizing of it.
Yeah, it's the fact that it was like the CEO of the company or something that admitted it, and it's like, what? Like, are you nuts?
In an interview, so I mean, it was completely public. I mean, it wasn't even.
Yeah, it was like Monday or something.
Something that he just said like on a show floor somewhere. You know what I mean? It was a full-on interview. And he goes ahead and admits, yeah, we've had this Wii U game done for 6 months, and we're just waiting for him to sell.
Waiting for the install base to be bigger. It's like, you are an ass.
Yeah. Ubisoft's definitely gunning for that.
Yeah, for worst company ever.
And the worst thing is
they're going for EA's throne right now. That's what they're doing.
Yeah. And the worst thing is that even there's... because... a lot of Ubisoft games that are coming out are pretty much like almost the same when it comes to mechanics and controls and everything.
I can see what you mean.
Now, there's joke reviews online now of Ubisoft the game review. Because it doesn't matter what game comes out, it's gonna be exactly the same.
Right.
So it's like.
Yeah, they have like that one type of game, and then they have like all the art, like artsy stuff they do, like Rayman Legends and Child of Light, which is the stuff I actually kind of do support because I hear they're all very good games.
Right.
Nice Burnout start there.
Yeah,
I saw that.
Right.
Anyway, I think we already said we're not gonna go too far into Codename Steam. Because I don't really have a huge opinion on that one just yet.
Yeah, you don't have a huge opinion on it. I do have some
I think
about it.
I think thematically that it shows a lot of promise.
Yeah, that's the thing. We actually disagree on the highlight parts of it at the moment.
Oh.
Yes.
Yeah, it's
I
like... I
actually love the mechanics of it.
Like steampunk with Western comic book style and fighting aliens. Like, I'm in. You got me.
That's the thing. I love the steampunk, fighting aliens, all that. What gets, and even the in-game, like, playing the game portion, I think is fine, graphically.
Yeah, the game looks better, but then I've said that's kind of how all 3DS games are. They look much better in motion than they do still.
Yeah, but what gets me is, that's the thing, is that the cutscenes are designed to be still.
Yeah.
Because it's comic book styled,
Which is like, if you're gonna do that, everything should just be hand-drawn.
Yeah. But it's like, I get it, and at the same time, it's just, I don't think that looks that great, but I absolutely love the mechanics and what they're doing with the mechanics of the game.
Yeah.
It's basically, it looks to me like, okay, that's... It's...
Yeah, it looks promising, and again, it's another new IP.
It's a new IP, and it's actually a new... It's even new for the actual strategy turn-based genre, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, yes, it's fighting aliens, but yes, there's a number of turn-based strategies fighting aliens. Yeah.
Yeah, but you know what? It's not zombies, so I don't care.
Yeah,
whatever.
It's not zombies.
Anything's better than zombies at this point. I'm sick and tired of zombies.
Zombies gone a little too far lately. Yeah. Yeah.
And then also, not going to talk too much about Star Fox. I'm psyched as hell, but there's just not much info to talk about right now.
To talk about, yeah.
Just mark your calendars that they said that it is development is going to wrap up in about a year, so it's we'll probably see more next E3.
The only, I guess, possibly StarCraft-related stuff that I even watched...
StarCraft.
What?
I heard that.
StarCraft?
I think you did.
Oh well, I meant Star Fox.
Right,
I said
yeah.
StarCraft. I didn't mean that. The only Star Fox related stuff that I watched was Project Guard. One of Miyamoto's things. I haven't checked out Project Giant Robot, but you did say that if these things don't flesh out, then they're
Miyamoto himself
into
said that he's probably going to blend it all
like,
into one thing.
I can see Project Guard. I mean, I guess I can see that being blended into Star Fox in some way, although at the same time, not really. I mean,
I can't see the other one working. I can't see Project Giant Robot.
I haven't looked at that, but it doesn't sound like it would be something that would be fitting.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I don't think that... Even though I haven't seen anything about Project Giant Robot, I don't think that Project Guard would be able to be fleshed out as a full game.
No. Yeah, that's what I thought. I was like, it looks like an okay concept. Like, I'm interested.
It's an interesting concept, but... It would have to be like an eShop title for like.
Yeah, I was like, how could that be a full title? Like,
that's not going to be
I don't see that.
Title. Yeah.
It interested me more than Giant Robot. That really didn't do anything to catch my attention.
Then again, you also like
Tower Defense.
So I mean, and it is an interesting take on tower defense.
Yeah,
it certainly is.
I'm not even that much into tower defense as I used to be.
Right. But it's an interesting take on it.
Because it's kind of like an oversaturated genre now anyway.
Exactly, exactly. It is oversaturated, although it's not super saturated on consoles.
No, it isn't.
So, and I mean,
it's all like mobile and crap.
Yeah. Mobile and PC.
And
definitely.
Facebook. And
yeah.
If that's not the same thing as mobile, which...
Well, same thing.
Pow!
Jeez, lots of coins.
It's beautiful!
Gosh. Look, how far did you get?
Third, and then I got hit by a green shell that I didn't see because it was under a pile of coins.
Oh,
damn it! All right,
by your own lightning bolt, actually.
We're already up to 42 minutes here. Damn.
We haven't even talked about Smash.
Yeah, and that's about all that's left. Super Smash Brothers for the Nintendo 3DS and the Wii U, which is still the worst title.
We do have Mario Maker.
To hell with that. I don't even... I mean, not to hell with that, because...
Here's the thing. I get it, because it brings away from the people who... Because there is a whole community of people who actually do, like, ROM hacks and shit.
Yeah.
For Mario games.
I'm sure it'll be popular. It'll sell.
Yeah.
Just like NES Remix, it's gonna sell copies. Yeah. I personally don't care.
I personally don't care unless there's, like, some really great... unless there's already like an established community of really great people making the levels and shit.
Yeah.
Of like some really interesting ones, and then it'd be like, oh sure, yeah, let me check this out, And it'll probably be like what, $10, probably eShop title.
Oh yeah, that sounds maybe even up to 15 maybe. Yeah. I could see them even doing it free to play and then making expansions be what you buy.
Yeah, actually, that was one thing that I thought about, was that if they do, if they want to do some DLC for it, and if they can coordinate with some other companies, like they could get,
they could have like Green Hill Zone tile set or something.
Yeah, they could do like some Sega stuff. They could do some Zelda. You can make some levels from early Zeldas, maybe some Castlevania, maybe some Metroid.
Right, yeah. Mega Man.
Stuff like that, maybe Mega Man. I mean, if it goes into that direction, then it would be something to really be like, okay, that actually kind of looks interesting.
Oh, yeah. If it really takes off and they continue to add content to it, I could really see it becoming something great.
Yeah, so that was the only reason that I did want to at least mention it, because I wanted to mention that.
Yeah.
If that happens, then that kind of sounds cool.
Yeah, I could definitely, if they're active about keeping the content flowing into that one, I could see it going places.
Yeah. Is Smash the last thing we haven't covered?
I think so, aside from silly little stuff like Mario vs. Donkey Kong, which just doesn't need covering.
Yeah. See, that's Mario vs. Donkey Kong is even lower than Mario Maker for me. So
yeah.
Mario vs. Donkey Kong.
Mario vs. Donkey Kong is one of those things, like, if you've played the other ones and you've liked them, then this is probably going to be right up your alley. There's probably not going to be much different about it, though.
Yeah, I mean...
If I had to guess.
They brought it to the Wii U, and it's in HD graphics. There you go.
Yeah, pretty much.
Cool. You know, I felt that
so
was
yeah,
nice.
like, if that's your kind of game, then...
If that's your game type, go for it.
I have the Game Boy Advance one on my 3DS because of the Ambassador, and it just does nothing for me. So
yeah, it didn't for me either. So, yeah, I guess Smash then.
Yeah, and then like I know you're not like
that was me sounding really interesting about Smash, wasn't it?
Well, it's more so that like I didn't want to lead with.
That was me.
Well, I didn't want to... It's kind of like an inevitable thing. I didn't want to lead with Smash and risk talking about it for like 3 hours.
Yeah.
So it was natural to save it for last.
Smash, of course, comes Amiibos as well.
Yeah, I wonder if we could talk about Amiibo for a little bit. We could probably do a whole nother episode on Amiibo and Smash, honestly.
Too, yeah. Yeah, it's good. This could be the end of part 1. Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of wonder if maybe we should just do that.
Yeah, you said we're already up to like 45 minutes.
Yeah, all right. Well,
let's end part 1.
We'll finish. I guess we don't have to preface it. We'll preface it at the beginning of the next episode. Unfortunately, we still got a lap going here. So
yeah, that's fair enough. I guess if they want to see the end of the race.
Yeah, I'm not gonna cut it in the middle of the race.
All right.
So, I guess
Is there anything else really quick that we can think of?
Not really.
I mean, except for...
Well, I'm just gonna say, like, again...
Except for some, like, 3DS titles, like Fantasy Life, or...
see, I haven't looked into Fantasy Life that much, so I feel like I can't really talk about that one yet.
Fantasy Life is really just kind of like a...
I heard it's Animal Crossing, except you can go adventuring and kill monsters, and I was like... Yeah. Okay, that sounds kind of interesting, actually. I might have to look into that, but I haven't yet, so... Yeah,
it's not something that interesting to me, but maybe to you,
I'm just going to say that, what I said at the beginning of the episode, if you haven't seen some of this stuff, you can go check out my live reaction of the digital event, or... This is the internet. This is YouTube. You know how to search for stuff. You can find it. You guys are big boys. I got confidence in you.
Yeah.
So
Actually, you could check out Nintendo's Twitch channel for anything we mentioned for Treehouse.
Yeah, I believe they have an E3 website up as well.
So check that out.
And we will be right back for part 2.